Hey Cancer, how you guys doing? I hope this finds you well. This is going to be a general reading for Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus for the last 2 weeks in June. A lot to talk about, guys. We're going to just get right into it, okay? I already did pre-shuffle and meditate on the cards. I'm just going to pull them straight out. We're continuing with this discussion on the eclipses that are hitting. Please check out the sister video to this for a full understanding, at least the first 10 minutes. Of the first 2 weeks of June, so you can get any additional information that I might reference here. But this is going to be for Cancer early, middle, and late degree placements going into this eclipse season. We are getting hit by Cancer on the 2nd, and a couple of weeks later by Capricorn. So cardinal signs are getting hit the most: Cancer, Aries, Capricorn, and Libra. All right, so let's see what we have. I'm going to pull some chakra cards. Okay, so it's very much a different spread, guys. Not what I normally do. But this is going to help us navigate some of the energies that we're dealing with going into this eclipse, and to see how we're going to be feeling. And I am like loving that 7th. Well, hello. House of relationships. I'm liking how that's turning out. Okay, good deal. All right, let's get right into this. We have a lot to talk about. So the first house. Okay, first of all, early degree, you guys are going to be getting hit by the polarity of the 1st and 7th the greatest. You're also going to be feeling it the 12th and 6th, but very not as strongly as the middle and late degree placements. The middle degree placements are going to be getting hit the hardest with all 4 of these energies, and I don't mean that in a negative way, because I see already there are beautiful energies here, but you're going to be feeling it the most intently. And then the later degrees, you guys are going to be feeling it mostly in the 12th and 6th, okay? But you're all going to be feeling all 4 of these, but the placements that I just indicated just indicates like the strength and the level of it. So first we have this 6th house energy that we're going to talk about, and this is a Virgo, Mercury, Earth energy, which indicates you're going to have to change your usual way of looking at things. And guys, just so you know, if you're cross-watching with the Capricorn, you guys are dealing with the same houses, okay? So I have those set up. So these messages are going to be different, but the house messages are going to be similar, though your placements are a little different. I just want to let you know that. So the 6th house is ruled by Virgo and Mercury. This is the area of routine, everyday life. It rules the body, different from the 1st house, which we'll talk about when we get there. But this is specifically your health, in particular your digestive tract, okay? The 6th house is all about duty, responsibility. Think about gainful employment. It shows how hard you work. You're really organized. You know, what you do on like a 9 to 5 kind of thing. This does indicate a very high probability of a change in employment. And when this shows up as an area of stress within an eclipse, a number of things need to be considered. And first and foremost is your health, okay? Because without good health, you're not going to be able to do good work very effectively, right? So for any of your future plans to progress smoothly, you must be very strong in body and mind. So this is an important time to pay a very close attention to your diet in particular. So besides routine and addressing all that means to you, you may find yourself in a space right now, though, where you're going to at least feel like other people are being quite critical of you, or you may be of them as well. It can go either way, but there's going to be like a feeling of imbalance in at least one part of your life. You're going to want to clear up. And when I say a part of your life, something to do with your everyday is going to feel very much out of balance. You're going to want to clear that up and correct matters before they become too unhinged and throw you off track, because this is something that's just kind of poking at you. Efficiency in doing the right thing at this time is definitely going to serve you within this time period. This is probably not going to be a very easy time for you, because it's not meant to be. You know, you're going to be worrying about a lot of little things, and, you know, for something to really serve you in the best way possible with the outcome that you're really looking to have, you're going to have a lot of patience during this time. You just really will. But whatever happens is going to last like long term, which is good. Okay, so then the first card to clarify we have here for the 6th house is the Ascendant card, which stands for outlook. I do get a lot of questions about exactly what our ascendant sign is, and why do people always ask me, like, why are you always telling us to check our rising sign? Rising and ascendant are synonymous. So it's best to think about our ascendant sign as our human suit, and the mode with which we move through the world. It's like our literal physicality, that channels every aspect of our chart into our life. And I know that sounds kind of deep and heady, but it is the foundation of our personality. And in a big way, it's kind of like our bathroom mirror, too. It's the style of our expression and the way in which we are perceived by others. And in our charts, it shows which sign of the zodiac was cresting on the eastern horizon as we emerged from our mother's womb. And it's the energetic flavor of our first sip of air. So this is really quite important. And as the ruler of first impressions, our ascendant sign is also the mask that we've been crafting since birth. It's kind of like a dance that we master as we gradually adapt and respond to our environment in order to navigate the ups and downs of life that we've been given or chosen, depending on what your view is on that point. But when the ascendant aligns with our soul purpose, we know we're on the right track. So when we get this card in a reading, the question to ask yourself is, where is the person you actually are and the person you are out in the world out of alignment with each other? Are you living in your truth? This energy is asking you to rethink about ways in which you've been holding back for fear of being fully seen, and really embracing and embodying your vulnerable side and exposing the deepest part of you is the epitome of personal empowerment. You need to think about what area in your life you've been hiding, behind clothes, behind your social media pages, behind a partner, behind a lifestyle, a nice car, great job. But where are you in all of that? And are you in touch with that at this point? Because this eclipse is going to be making you look at that and take this opportunity to recalibrate and experiment with a more authentic mode of self-expression in an area that you're hiding in. Because we really do know. If we're really honest with ourselves, we do know. It's not comfortable, but, something to look at. And then this chakra energy that we got here, this first one here is the sun, which is a Jupiter energy. And this is a message from the sixth chakra, okay? And this is also known as, the fall has joined her dark and light energy, right? This is absolutely beautiful. The sun, what's great about the sun is it lightens every other energy in the deck, in the spread, which is beautiful. There's really nothing bad about this card right now, okay? This is just beautiful, understanding that what lies ahead is richer than anything that she's been going through, right? This does ask you to pay attention to the difference between your own voice that you show to the world and the voice of your intuition, and really pay attention to the difference between those two, But this is all about your higher good, And this is all about optimism and acceptance and belonging and accomplishment. Very high vibrational space. I just really love this for you guys to have in this energy, which is great. I mean, that just says that you're really going to be working very hard, but hopefully not at cross purposes to yourself, because then we have the death reverse energy here, which, when it's upright, it's like stepping out of the cocoon, kind of like. This is, when it's upright, it's about emerging, being reborn from a situation, leaving your shadow self tied to the roots of your past, something that you really don't want to bring with you. But when it's reversed, this indicates that you're having a really hard time. This indicates regret and resistance and attachments to the past and fear of the unknown and delusional ideas and an inability to discern fantasy from reality. And so this does tell me, Cancer, that you're going to be resisting whatever will be eclipsed out of this sixth house energy, because your routine needs to change in some way. And this is telling me that you're going to be resisting, even though you have the sun here, and even though you have the support of the ascendant. There's something, and I know Cancer, you guys are a creature of habit. I have a lot of Cancer placement in my chart. I am with you on that. And those daily routines have to do with home, and you guys are all about home. So, this could be people moving out, people moving in, moving, changing jobs. These things are very highly uncomfortable for your everyday. But please try not to resist it, because what needs to go, okay? All right, and then we have here the 12th house, which is escape, which typically indicates that it's time for you to get on point. It's not a time to overlook what's there, because things can become very off-kilter if you do that. I find the 12th house to be very confusing for a lot of people, because, you know, it's the house of self-undoing. And people are like, what the hell does that mean? You know, undoing myself. You got to understand, like, the 12th house is all the planets within it, okay? 12th house is about being blessed, spiritual fulfillment, meeting up with twin flames. It promises losing yourself in someone beautiful out there, but it might be like trying to hold on to a cloud, okay? Because this is the place where we also lie to ourselves. It's got this beautiful aspect and then this darker aspect, you know, because this energy is ruled by Neptune and Chiron, and Neptune is a planet of confusion and drunkenness, actually. The 12th house tells us to forget about ourselves and live for others. But this won't only bring us confusion, it's going to bring us very deep sadness and fear, and in many cases paranoia. But at the same time, it represents beauty and love, right? And therein lies the confusion, right? Because this is the house that teaches us how to write poetry and say beautiful things and inspires us to show great kindness to others, you know? But then it has those other elements. So having this in the reading indicates that, as as an energy here to deal with in the eclipse, indicates that something in your life is amiss, and that there's something about a situation you are unsure about, or at least are not privy to the full story, and that not everything is as it seems. And without the information that's missing, at least one part of your life is going to be really challenging to move forward in. So the signals that you're getting right now are probably the wrong ones, and things that seem really obvious to you right now may end up ultimately, you're only going to discover, are actually just a mirage, or that something is being obscured right now. So just watch out for deception at this time, and don't look to others for fulfillment or others to give you purpose, at least not right now, because this energy does indicate it's either a bad time to try to do this, or you're looking to the wrong person. And also, this does advise you to pay attention to the small signals and synchronicities on the edges of your rational perception right now, because you're being asked to go really into the deep end of your feelings here and your emotions, and listening to what you find there. And don't be afraid of again, like, feeling this off kilter, like feeling loose in your grounding, because you're learning right now. You're learning so much, and you're learning that applying less resistance and more compassion to things is not weakness, but it's a strength. You know, this is ultimately such a good thing, okay? And then we have the 6th house here, which is craft. This is about you needing to be ready to be refined by the contours and reality of the physical world. And you're going to be asked during this energy to explore where maybe some solitude and healthy sense of realism could help you with kind of realigning your internal code right now. Like, I'm just getting a lot of you just need some space. You know, why do you feel pressured to make a decision right now, Cancer? What's going on with that, right? Gather your information up in a big bundle and figure out what you need and what you no longer need, and get rid of what you no longer need. And this really is an energy to listen to your body and pay attention to, honestly, what you eat right now, because your body's very much going to be a barometer of your like emotional world right now, your emotional landscape as you go through this. So, you know, this is often described as the house of work and health, and this house shows how we metabolize our daily life, you know, and how we take in the information from outside and what we're putting out. Because sometimes cancers can get very overwhelmed if they're not given that space they need to climb inside their shell and just think. And when there's a lot of external noise, it becomes really challenging, right? So yeah, I mean, this is also an energy where this is a great time to try to recognize the cracked surface and its perfect imperfection underneath the surface of who you really understand yourself to be right now. So this is really about taking some time and really getting in touch with yourself and understanding truly what it is that, you know, that you need and that works for you, okay? And then we have the moon reverse, which is the Mars energy. and a retrograde energy. And this can be experienced as losing steam. Definitely a sense of loss, right? When this fifth chakra is in retrograde energy, it's time to reassess or at least reconsider your current methods and how you're behaving and how you do in life. How you do in life. Because the reversal here indicates feeling restricted and feeling this sense of turmoil in at least one area of your life. This indicates nightmares and distrust and misinterpretations and also secrets not coming out. Something is being held a secret either by you or someone close to you. But there's a secret here. There's a secret here that's not coming out, that needs to come out, but it's not. And that's going to be poking at you. And then we have the Nine of Cups energy, which is the card of the fulfilled wish. So this is Jupiter in Pisces, you know. It's interesting to note that in classical astrology, Jupiter wasn't just the ruler of Sagittarius as it is now, but also Pisces, which means that Pisces is in dignity here. He's not just visiting, he's home. He's in his own house. So this makes Jupiter's connection to the Nine of Cups even stronger, you know. And there's a question here about, I do want to say, because this is a very celebratory energy. And so because it's got that Pisces connection, there is a risk of alcohol and maybe drug abuse as an escape route from painful realities that you might be experiencing right now. We do have to say that. But overall, this really is beautiful and positive card having to do with celebrations and happiness. And I do need to say, though, that the chakra message for this card is to be aware of any tendency to, how do I say this? Any tendency to exaggerate your importance or use your accomplishments to prove your worth. Because this can reveal the need to work through the emotional deprivation of your past. And like holes in your soul left from either past relationships or even from your childhood. Okay, but that's entirely positive. So besides this is again about achievement and luxury and prosperity and you stepping into your higher frequency. Like this is you leveling up, Cancer, you know? And then we have the first house, which represents your body, and this energy is about you and the house of self and the persona that you project, and it's how you relate to the world first. This energy means that, you know, you'll soon be feeling your own strength, although it may feel very, very natural for you to go in and want to take over a situation and be very assertive. This is a time where you need to pull back a little bit. Give someone else some space. Give someone else an opportunity to perform and to get the job done, right? Because it can give somebody the impression that you feel that they're not capable if you don't do that. Okay, so try not to control or dominate certain situations because it's going to backfire on you in this energy. This also has to do with your image. So a lot of you are going to be getting a new look, new hairstyle, new clothes, you know, whatever that means. But what's really cool about this energy is that it can have an unexpected positive impact on how things roll out for you in this energy. So I don't know if maybe you're going to meet someone when you're buying the clothes or getting the hair, or that your hair looks so great you end up meeting somebody new who's like really into the hairstyle. I don't, you know, it could mean anything like that. But since this house opposes the seventh house of partnerships, this can mean relationships are about to mature or become more serious. Marriage is very possible, or you may be transitioning into a better place concerning other people in general. The first house also speaks of beginnings and starting things new and fresh, but it also implies a time where you may find yourself defending something that you value. This could be something tangible or your own reputation or choices that you've made. So the advice here is keep it cool, breathe it out, rise above, and just really firmly foot yourself in your convictions. This is not going to last, but it's definitely something that you're going to have to deal with throughout this eclipse season for sure. The first qualifying energy here we have for the first house is the 8th house of intimacy. And this is a Scorpio, Pluto, water energy. And this is that your bluff is going to be called, Cancer. Somebody's going to be calling your bluff. It's time to show your cards or strip off another layer and show what's underneath your beautiful self. Because the thing is this, the stakes are going to feel very high to you, okay? You're going to be very scared to show the true stripped down version of yourself. But ultimately, that deeper level of vulnerability and intimacy is the smart way to go right now. Okay? Because by you doing this, this bearing all is going to bring you so much closer to somebody in a way that you never thought possible, you know? And that's scary though, right? It's really scary, but don't be afraid. I'm getting that a lot of you are afraid of being stripped down, hardcore, raw who you are, because you're afraid somebody's going to come in and take something away from you. Steal something from your heart, you know, hurt you in some way. So this implies a sense of self-protection here. Absolutely. But you know what, Cancer, you know, you have to remember, don't be afraid to show that deepest and scariest little pink version of yourself that you've been keeping hidden, because no one could take away what's essentially and eternally yours, right? No one could do that. So there's really nothing to fear. As I'm even getting that you've been hiding this element, part of yourself, from yourself even. So it's time to really get in touch with yourself, and don't be afraid to show up, because somebody really loves you who wants to see that part of you. Yeah. Yeah. And then we have the Two of Wands, which is the card of magical manifesting. Love it. Mars and Aries energy. Okay. This energy is all about understanding that when we demand movement from the universe and request change and manifestation, that we're making an unofficial agreement that we're going to use our energy wisely. The universe understands this as a commitment and is very logical, right? To understand that. But if you don't have the commitment to manifest what it is that your goal is, and you don't have the willingness to make the changes that need to be made, your energy is going to go elsewhere, Cancer, often to distractions that ultimately dissipate your intention, thereby not allowing the manifestation. So this really is very much like a cause and effect kind of energy. And getting back what you're willing to genuinely work for. This is about invention and expansion and authority and even restlessness about these things, but in a very positive way. This is another card indicating leveling up. I love it. Okay? And then we have the Ten of Swords energy, which is about recovering from an unavoidable defeat. The chakra message here is the depth of sorrow is just never as great as the love felt. This indicates a time to recover. This indicates hitting rock bottom, leaving a job, but then finally feeling the pain lift. But don't rush yourself through this process. Healing can't be rushed. It's important to allow yourself to evolve out of this space in a way that you need and that's natural for you, right? You're not going to want to move on yet. A lot of you are going to be very resistant to this, and that's natural. You have to just go at your own pace as far as the healing component goes. While this can certainly make the most strongest of us feel incredibly weak, okay? I want you to think about, if you had the courage right now to make a stand for your new direction, would your life look like you were free and autonomous? Or are you shackled to something that you no longer belong in, you know? You know, just know that here in the third chakra, we call this the winter of despair. It's like, but it's this slowly melting away. And while, you know, joining life in a happy-go-lucky way might seem very unreasonable for you right now, just know that healing has actually begun. This is about rebuilding and making a comeback and trusting your gut. And be proud of the depth of your pain, because that's necessary to grow your capacity, right, for happiness and joy. Right? Because after this, your capacity to feel deeply is just going to be so expanded, which is really cool. And then finally, we have the seventh house that represents partners. Okay, this could be emotional, domestic. This also indicates legal issues. Okay, the seventh house is the area of the chart that represents the other. And since it's the opposite of the first house of self, so that's where we get that me-we polarity that I mentioned in the last video. So traditionally it's been thought to be the house of marriage and marriage partners, but it can also be friends, family, peer groups. It can even be co-workers. But as the traditional house of Libra, it governs fairness and balance and law. Okay, also open enemies, you know, like frenemies. But really, this can mean one of two things: either issues dealing with partners or significant others, or court cases and legal issues. I've been doing a lot of readings lately, and a lot of people are getting both of these handed to them. So it just depends on what your situation is. So Yeah, and of course, this is a general reading, I have to say. So, you know, take everything as it applies. But this card in and of itself is very neutral, right? So it's got that Libra energy. So what's really going to drive this energy is very faded, very faded. But when we're using these cards in a spread, we have to really look at the following cards that we get and how that's going to inflect us, okay? And the fact that it's got this... getting very much like a Victorian vibe here too. So I do like that, because that's gonna bode well for situations having to do with the law or financial settlements. But on a mundane level, the 7th house means engagement, marriage, relationships moving to the next level, as in partnerships becoming more settled and gaining maturity. Can also imply getting ready for a more serious relationship. But I do have to say, in the case of dysfunctional or unhealthy relationships, we really need to look at the rest of the cards. So this is what's going to drive it. Okay, so we have this North Node, which is destiny. Okay, this is the Karma card. You know, sometimes people know this as Rahu in their chart. It's the same thing. It's the North Node. Yeah, I mean, this is where we learn and strive. This is what we learn and strive towards again and again in different forms and different lifetimes until we finally learn our lessons and how to make it ours, you know. So the North Node is all about being an open road, and us, this is really asking us to take a risk and step into the power that we're feeling very pulled towards right now in this energy. And we really need to do that. We really need to have faith and through acceptance that everything is going to end up for our ultimate better good. Okay, because this says that there's something much larger than we realize unfolding that, well, you, Cancer, are not consciously realizing at the moment. There's a situation, a challenge, or relationship that's come to you that's connected to your higher purpose, and you've entered into a phase of like this deep soul mastery, you know. Just your actions and attitudes towards this situation are going to have very lasting effects on the rest of your life. So really consider where you're being called to understand your own patterning right now, why you do what you do, where does your comfort lie, where does your discomfort lie, because honestly, guys, and I don't mean to sound dramatic, but your destiny is on the line here. I'm getting a lot of you guys have some serious choices to make in this relationship house. Then we have the Emperor. I love this card in this stack. This is a great energy. It's secure, it's reliable, responsible, patient, secure in his resources. This is not gender specific, by the way. It could be a woman. But his presence commands results, you know. He offers the lesson of communicating and messages that we send out to others, especially the unspoken ones. You know, the Emperor is the first real masculine energy of the tarot, and he's just sitting there patiently waiting. I always feel like he kind of looks like Ben Affleck with like a blue beard. I don't know if you guys could see that. I don't know why he does. To me, anyway. But Cancer, this tells me that someone's waiting for you, and you don't even have to completely know this person to feel how serious they are about you. But I'm getting that many of you are holding yourself back from this energy for fear and vulnerability. And what you feel coming off this person is so powerful it scares you. And this energy wants you to remember that the power we fear is the power the only power that we should fear is the power that we cannot own. So are you aware of your silent power? Because what we're unaware of controls us. I mean, is there something going on with somebody who maybe you shouldn't even be having this thing with? I'm wondering for some of you. Yeah, if you have not met this person now, you're certainly going to be meeting them by the end of this eclipse story, right, within the 2-year period. So pay attention to your own unspoken messages and pay attention to how you deal with people right now, and how is the universe even responding to you. And just ask yourself if maybe you might want to look at making some changes to alter the energetic vibes, you know, of your outcome, so that you end up feeling more secure in an area of your life, you know. So that you can show up in that 8th house of intimacy energy back in that 1st house with this Emperor. Because you should be with that Emperor. Cancer, I have to tell you what I'm getting. I'm getting that many of you, at least a handful of you who are watching right now are in one relationship and you've met someone else and this is messing with you because this goes against your moral code, but you're in an unhappy situation and you're not quite sure what to do with your feelings. This is not for all of you, but someone absolutely needs to hear this. And I'm not here to tell you whether you should leave someone or not, but I can only tell you that this energy is absolutely... Sorry guys, we got cut off there for a minute. Yes, this energy is absolutely beautiful. Okay. So do with that whatever you think you see fit with that Emperor, but that is a gorgeous energy, okay? And then we have the Ace of Cups here as our energy to wrap things up. This can be Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces energy. Wow, Cancer, I'm getting some pretty deep stuff with this card. Those of you who are tarot readers, by the way, I do really recommend this deck. It's the Chakra Wisdom Tarot. The messages are very deep that come off for me as a reader, and I do recommend those. Yeah, so this is asking if you will allow yourself to do better than your family of origin. Wow, yeah. I mean, this represents love being offered and just being fully committed. You know, fully committed to the moment. You need to ask yourself, are you being ruled by your brain, or is your soul searching and reaching away from the roots of your past, you know? This is about you getting very real in love, because this is a very grounding power of the root chakra, bringing very tangible results from the vision that you're creating, you know, for the universe to respond to you. So do you have a vision of love, like a specific person, a specific feeling, a specific scenario? Can you experience it? Do you have yourself there? You know, just remember that while others may influence you, you know, only you can choose to receive the love that's being offered. But this is new, absolutely beautiful new love being offered. Or if it's with somebody who you've been with or you were with, this is a new level altogether, totally new level. So you're leveling up even in the love area for sure. Yeah, and if that doesn't resonate with you, if love has nothing to do with this is a completely positive energy. If you've been nurturing a new project, this indicates a time to get that novel going, to further develop a business concept, travel plans going really well. Just other parts of your life, just this is so good, you know. Work, even your hobbies, very positive emotions on every front here, really beautiful beginnings. There's some impulsivity here for sure too, but a lot of new possibilities in the most pure and obvious form. So yeah, this is beautiful, Cancer. It really is beautiful, beautiful. Guys, you take care. Enjoy these last 2 weeks of the month, and I will see you at the beginning of July. Thanks for joining me. See you next time. Bye-bye.